Welcome to Border Beats Anthology Reading, Part 2. Okay, all right, we'll start again. And I want to introduce Barbara de Sacco with her daughter.
Okay, good evening. So we have Barbara di Sacco here from Tuscany. I'm Sveva and I'm talking for her in English, as Barbara di Sacco has just started a trip over the seas. So she's learning English now in order to translate her poems so everybody could read them. She started to write poems just a few times ago, as her parents passed away, unfortunately. So she found their inspiration there in their pain. So she started to write out. And we are reading the poem that's called Without Borders. Okay. So I will just read the poem right now. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. A free globe large and round. Here they are, in your stories, your cultures. I want to learn everything. Show me. Teach me, please. You need to know, study, listen, to speak, write. Because you get to the heart. Rooted and alone. Legends in ancient history, but not the chapter. Cover its charm and beauty, taking care of dirty interests. Man can be divine if cultured. As if to say, always ready to learn, welcome, no. Not greedily closed, arrogant, already to bed, looting, wars, in their own wandering, prevaricating, invading, killing, starving. Only open minds and hearts can light us up, and the globe has navigable seas, skies to fly, mountains to climb, meadows where to run and meet. I don't see barriers on cards, on satellite photos. I only see beauties of places and cultures, blessed with light.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Barbara.
Grazie a te.
So I read your poems on Facebook through the translator. Sometimes they're already in English. Is that where they run through a translator, or did the daughter, did you translate them for her?
Ha chiesto se io traduco per te o se fai col traduttore. Quindi ora gli spiego che in realtà traduci da sola perché io non ci sono a casa.
Ah,
Okay.
sì,
Okay.
con il
She
traduttore.
write everything in Italian, so unfortunately they sound a little bit different in Italian. It's a little bit different to read them in Italian. And she's translating by her own. She learned how to use Google Translate. As unfortunately I'm not living here in the winter, as I study in another city in Italy. So I just do my best, but she's doing everything on her own. And she also started to use cell phones just a few years ago. So she's just trying with Google Translate for the moment.
Okay. Well, it turns out pretty well.
Thank you.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go with Paul Richmond, since he was the first stone, I think.
Okay, welcome. Thanks for doing this, and thanks for putting the book together. My piece is called Which Side of the Fence? It was reported that someone was climbing the fence. Men in uniforms were called in, and when they got there, the person had climbed down. The men in uniform stood on a hill located on the other side of a very high fence, looking down on the group of people who had gathered on the other side. On seeing the officers, they started to throw rocks. The fence being high, the uniforms a good distance away, the rocks fell short. It was disputed whether or not the young man that was shot 10 times had thrown any rocks or climbed the fence, or was just one of the people walking by. The American officer shot 10 times, only stopping to reload. His defense, he felt his life was threatened as he stood a good distance away on top of a hill behind a fence. The young man, a Mexican, lie dead in Mexico. An American in uniform, standing in America. No charges were filed.
Okay.
This is a story a number of years ago, actually, which keeps going on, unfortunately.
Would you like to tell us about a project you're working on? I'm sure you've got lots of them, or a latest book.
Projects I'm working on is trying to stay alive. I'm trying to keep my hopes up by not looking at the news too much and wondering what's happening with the world. And I'm trying to be creative to give hope so that other people can keep thinking that it makes sense to keep organizing, and that there are histories of people organizing that have worked, even though they keep trying to convince us that none of that works.
Okay. Would you like to read another poem?
You want one more poem?
Okay. Not too awfully
All right.
long.
All right. This one is my War and Peace program. It shouldn't take more than a couple minutes. No, this is a new poem I just did. A little sarcastic, but here we go. Hello, boys and girls, and those without borders. Today's new word is intuition sensibility. I know it sounds like two words. The official statement from the collective freedom fighters is this is one concept, one word, intuition sensibility. If you haven't heard, woke is being canceled and canceled is being woked. Those of you who know there are systematic injustices in America, keep organizing. Those of you who believe there are no systematic injustices in the country are the ones benefiting. Those upset about America being canceled, no worries. From the beginning, many American citizens have asked Americans to stop the atrocities against the world and its own. Many of us have wanted to distance ourselves from those atrocities. Once you have identified the atrocity, proven it's not a conspiracy, you need to announce your intentions to not take part. By the way, to cancel a person, a corporation, or a country or for their actions is old school. Historically, co-opting, eliminating words or language is the first step to destroying any counterculture. Redefining words to make them meaningless, to create sides and hatred. Intuition, sensibility. Let that word roll around in your mouth. Feel it on your lips. For we will only have a short time before Wall Street will start to use it on the news, saying intuition, sensibility will describe everything and now mean nothing. Many of you know in your gut, bodies are piling high of the evidence that all faith has been corrupted. To trust that we're seeing injustices that we need to call out, that actions need to be taken in order for the destruction and the killings to stop. It's hard for those who see, it's hard for those who have believed, they feel attacked. No one wants to be told. You believe in a false story.
Thank you. Yay. All right. I think Chris was the next to join us. So Chris, you go ahead. Chris Bodor.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I didn't know that the people who came first were the ones who got to read first. Otherwise, I would have been there last night. Yeah.
No, I will not remember the full order. So just go when you're called if you can.
Ashley, thank you so much for calling me. And I have to say that this book is incredible. Like the cover is so eye-catching. There's so much art in it, and just it really encapsulates the theme of borders. And I love the idea of psychological borders, physical borders. So you've really done an amazing job collecting all these voices. And the poem I have that was featured on page 31 is one of three poems that I wrote for my father, Otto. And Gabor, poet laureate, a beat poet laureate for Hungary, actually has translated these three poems into Hungarian so that I could like present it to my dad in his mother tongue. And so this is a poem for Otto, Empty Chair. My father had four brothers and two sisters. He was the youngest and the only one in his family who said goodbye to Hungary in October of 1956. My father gets tears in his eyes, and his proud voice becomes scratchy when he tells friends and strangers his story of the Hungarian Revolution when he was 20 years old, leaving in the middle of the night without saying goodbye to his family, disappearing over the border to freedom in Austria, moving past searchlights and barbed wire fences. Each news story is a flashback to 1956 on the TV nowadays. It tortures him to watch broadcasts about the war in Ukraine while sitting in his overstuffed armchair in his Florida living room. One of my father's brothers was a poet in Budapest who wrote words that made my father sentimental. It's a poem about a chair at the kitchen table in Kisvada, a chair made empty because little Otto was not there anymore. I walk around my kitchen at night here in Florida, past the table and each chair, naked, haunted by the ghosts of my father's past.
Thank you. Would you like to read one more?
Absolutely. Yeah, I am very fortunate. I've had my work translated into Polish quite often in the last couple of years, and also into French for a Belgium publication. So I'm pulling something from an anthology that was put out in 2021, A Tunis Galaxy. And here's my poem that appears on page 83. It's called Embrace the Everyday. The morning coffee that you crave is now knocked over. It's wasted, never tasted, soaked into the carpet of your car. That unused umbrella that you carried around all month in your briefcase, it's lost at this moment while you walk to work in the pouring rain. Your partner lies beside you every night and then you fight, and suddenly one of you is sleeping alone on the sofa in the living room. You speak of love during your daily routine, but what does love really mean? Define love before it leaves. Embrace the everyday. Appreciate it all. Quick before love slips away.
Thank you. Would you like to tell us about a project you've got going on?
Absolutely. As the Florida Beat Poet Laureate, I decided that as a laureate, I should have a laureate project. So we're going to be spotlighting Florida poets every month of this year. So we have the City of St. Augustine, our local poet laureate. She'll be kicking things off at the end of January, and then the list goes all the way up to November. So it's like 8 series of a Florida poet, and then we do an open mic. So this way, the community gets to hear a voice from another part of Florida, and then they get to strut their stuff too. And on top of it all, I'm doing a Poet Fest for National Poetry Month in April, and we're going to kick it off with a Beat Poet Laureate Symposium, like a summit. So everyone who Paul or Debbie has lifted up as a Beat Poet Laureate, either past or present, they'll have 10 minutes of mic time at the festival on that Thursday kickoff. And then after the Beat Poet Laureates have shared their 10 minutes, then we'll open it up to the community and anyone can share their words. And then we'll have 2 days after that, the Friday and the Saturday, will be on the campus of Flagler College here in St. Augustine, and lectures, workshops. Ron Whitehead will be there giving a presentation, and George Wallace is going to be our keynote speaker.
Okay, thank you very much. Hi, Chryssa.
Absolutely.
Since you're up late, I want you to go next if you're ready. Chryssa Velissariou. I'm sorry. Would you pronounce your name for me? Do you hear me, Chryssa?
Chryssa Velissariou from
Okay.
Hello. I said that your book is very interesting because borders is something to through, and my whole life is going through. Correct the existence of borders anyway. I don't like borders. You free or I don't remember how many poems about borders, and you accepted a very interesting, I think. That your choice was interesting because it is a border about the border of desire, yearning's edge. At love's border, I stand, aching to cross into your heart's land. Yet you resist my fervent desire, a wild tiger stoking the fire of my passionate lust. Gently I approach your intimacy's gate. Hesitant, I seek to navigate the delicate borders of your soul. A journey toward love that makes us whole. Within me, emotions bloom and sway as your eyes meet mine today. I feel a soul seeking sanctuary, a refuge in your depths, in the depths of you and me. That's all.
Well, thank you. Would you like to read one more short one?
Yes, but I must find it.
Well, in the
Yes.
meantime, would you like to tell us about a latest book or a project you're working on?
I work on a project of that Debbie says taught me to work. I write a book about my poetry-rate life. I don't know about my life. Anyway, about my passions, I think.
Mhm.
And I also work on other person books because I think I turned into a in Greek, of course. Many people have trust on me to publish their books. So I started to edit their books, and so I work on editing too.
Mhm.
But this year, my whole not my whole, but the most I do is as a schoolmaster, because this is my new position, and it is a difficult position in Greece, in a distant village near Olympus. And so I left my literature or poetic dreams a bit behind.
Oh, but you're still writing, aren't you?
I write, but I don't think that to write a book is the same as to write poems on Facebook, for example. It is different.
Okay. The books you're editing, are they in Greek or English?
Yeah, they are in Greek.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you.
I wasn't either in English when I was younger, when I was working in a international book, a big book. Anyway,
Well, thank you so much
I'm also fighting for environment this year. In fact, I turned into the University of Environment in my town, and I work with them for climate neutralization, because in my territory this year there were big floods and many deaths. So everybody now tries to help, because all that is because of climate change.
Yes, there's so many.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining.
I won't read anymore.
Well, we appreciate
No
you
problem.
staying up to
Thank
read.
you.
Thank you. Anyway, let's go to Debbie Tosun Kilday, our CEO, the owner of the National Beat Poet Laureate Society, Incorporated, that is. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi, Belinda, and I'm very, very happy with this book. It's a beautiful book that you created here with our words.
Thank you.
What I'm working on now is all my fault. I asked all of the Beat laureates to start writing their own stories, and I'm going to be producing those books. And I got quite a few books in already that I'm working on. Ron Whitehead's is the first book that's going to be published. And it's quite a project. But anyway, I'm on page 137 of this book. And my poem is called My Borders Lie Within. Oh, before I get into that, I was recently named the Connecticut Arts Hero in Connecticut, and there's going to be a event honoring me, I guess, and others. There's a few others on January 24th, and I have to say I was very shocked, to receive that award, and happy and scared at the same time. It was like, what do they expect from me now? But anyway, my borders lie within. My borders lie within. I used to think that borders were meant to be crossed. Borders were challenges waiting to be challenged. But then I realized something. We were all wanting to escape something, viewing the border as a way out, an imaginary line to view. Some wanting to escape a bad relationship, others looking for a new start, others testing how far they could go. In reality, we want to cross the border, only to go onto the next. It's like a series of borders waiting for you to cross. I found I was content within my borders because I held them within, never having to step across to the other side. My border was a virtual border. I could shorten or lengthen it. It all depended on me. No one could stop me from accessing or crossing my borders. I was truly free to make those choices because my borders lie within.
Thank you. Would you like to read one more?
Yes, I would. And this is called Too Much Suffering. There is too much suffering in this world, But why, I ask? Are we all made to suffer for the sins of the world or the sins of our forefathers? It seems to me that we all suffer in some way. It's expected. Is suffering a part of life, or do we inherit suffering? Some of us suffer alone, while others suffer as a group, and some make their own suffering. I myself do not like suffering. I don't want to withstand it, even though I have, in fact, many times. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's have Ron Whitehead next.
Hi, Belinda. I'm honored to be included in the book. My poem is No Borders, No Boundaries. 250 years ago, humans birthed machines, steam engines, spinning jenny, spinning mule, power loom, cotton gin, then interchangeable parts. 85 years ago, a human birthed the first modern computer. Today, artificial intelligence is rocketing machines ever closer towards the complete takeover of humans and of nature. Today, humans and machines are destroying the earth faster than ever. I sincerely hope that if we can do so much damage in 250 years, we can clean up our mess even faster. We have the means, but do we have the will? I always believed that nature, humans, and machines could live in harmony together. I was obviously wrong. Human greed is too strong. Where is our will to be compassionate? If we can't clean up our own mess, then nature will heal herself. She has done it before and will do it again. Nature is more resilient than all of us put together. Tear down the fences, the walls, saw down the parking meters, take back the plundered earth, hold it, heal it. There are no boundaries, never were, never will be, only beauty. The world is full, brimming, pregnant with beauty. Take back the deserts, the mountains, the prairies, the streams, the rivers, the oceans, take it all back. It is yours. We have tortured it long enough. Closing time has arrived. Fires rage, desert winds keen, droughts, floods, selfishness, greed. If we can't resurrect our hearts, then everything will be lost. This poem is for no borders, no boundaries. This poem is for nobody. This closing time poem is for nobody. This poem is for nature, majestic nature, in all her resilient splendor, in all her rapturous beauty. Thank you for including me in your book.
Well, thank you. I know you have many projects.
I do.
You want to mention a couple of them that you're excited about?
But Debbie mentioned one. I'm excited about this book she's working on. I'm wake up every morning knowing today is going to be the big day. It's going to be released, and Debbie has to calm me down. To Ron, you're an excitable boy. Just calm down. And and so I do. You know, I'm so honored to be part of this family, the national and international Beat Poetry Foundation family, and I sure hope I can make it back to our annual Labor Day Festival in Connecticut this September. It's every time it's just like going home and to a family reunion. I love it. And Belinda, we sure hope that you can make it up there this year too.
Thank you.
And I'm working on, I'm producing, co-producing, co-hosting, and performing at festivals in Estonia, in Kentucky, in Ireland this year. And every day I get up swearing, today is the day I'm going to become a recluse. I'm going to walk away from every damn thing and just live the rest of my life with my dogs in nature and hang out with Jen. And then I get a call or an email, and it's just so damn inviting, I can't turn it down. So I stay at it. I keep going. I'm 73 now. I tell you what, every day's a gift. It's a blessing. It feels good. All of it does.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And I understand your excitement. Life feels more full for me right now than it has in previous years. So
It's good to finally meet you almost in person. And I like your accent, and I like your art and your poetry and the work you do. I like the work that everybody on here does so much work to uplift and inspire others. And like Paul mentioned earlier, that's the greatest gift that I can and we can offer, I believe, is to provide some hope in this tortured world. And I don't know what else to do, and find whatever happiness we can, each one of us individually.
yes,
So
yes, thank you so much.
you're welcome. I don't need to read another one. I'm just happy to be here.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Hope to see
Thank
you
you.
real soon. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank
Now,
you.
let's go with Joe Kidd and Sheila Burke.
All right, can you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
We're thrilled to be here and to be part of this book. It's an honor and it's beautiful. And can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Can
Can you get a little bit closer to the mic?
yes.
Okay.
I'm working on several books. I have some manuscripts, and it shall unfold, and I'll be talking about those a little bit later on as the year progresses. I'm going to read Borders and Boundaries, which was my poem that was included in this book. Thank you so much. When I look at Earth from space, I see no lines, no zones for time, only blue and green, sights unseen by those confined with sovereign signs. I hear no music but the spheres spinning in the now and here. Cosmos intertwining Earth, inhabitants and creatures worth more than currency, redundancy, hot pursuit and cold reboot. Climate rivers swirling, twirling, creatures migrating, some escaping. Lands and waters of extremes, political, geographical, demographical, tiny sardines, fundamental food chain. North, south, east, and west, no borders, no boundaries remain.
Thank you.
Another short poem. This one's called A Sense of Place. A sense of place, some kind of belonging, roots reaching deep like tentacles enmeshing, grasping, caressing, strangling, ejecting. Pulling back time and again like the beautiful invasive kudzu, engulfing the trees, the wires, the lines, running north and south, circling back down home. And nature has a way of saying, don't get above your raising. Longing to be free, wider vistas to see, yet always reminiscing the familiar I am missing. What is this? Nostalgia? Homesickness? A kind of mental fog or thickness, dense as the wooded hills with deep hidden crevasses, mysteries revealed, and sometimes second chances.
All right. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Okay, Joe.
All right.
And tell her about her projects too.
Well, what Sheila told you a couple things about our projects. We are so busy, it's hard to remember what we're going to do next. Honest to God, I'm still trying to figure out what poetry is, and when I do that, I'll be able to do the rest of it, I imagine. We're writing songs and poems and books, and we're recording a record out in Canada right now. We're in the middle of it. And looking forward, trying to be a good poet, a good human, a good partner, and somebody that you all like it when we come into the room. That's all. I don't want anybody going, oh, no, not him again. Anyway, I'm going to read my story. Now, this story It's actually a true story, but I changed it a little bit. My grandparents were immigrants, but they were not from Mexico. My grandfather was a coal miner. He was not a farmhand or a tomato picker. But anyway, you'll get the idea as it goes along. Why don't you take a picture? It might last longer. Mi abuelo came up here every summer to break his back for your forbidden fruit. That's right. He could lift a basket of tomatoes over his head with one hand. His muscles in his shoulders were so massive that mi abuela had to shampoo his hair for him. He's dead now, got killed defending a friend in the field. It's a war here, brothers and sisters. There are no civilians. Only soldiers, only bodies, one by one passing away. Among accusations that we have our eye on a bigger prize, or that we enjoy coming up here being treated like parasites by those who suffer just as much as we do. You know, we can make our own bread, raise our own corn, and we can smile a big smile to everyone we meet. How this field has become, how has this field of fruit become a field of battle? When did the protectors become the oppressors? We're not the enemy. We did not offend or commission work to foreign slavers. We neither evict nor perpetrate homelessness. So put that flashlight down, senor. The only thing illegal here is your attitude and your activity toward your fellow human beings. Be careful where you point that finger, or else the target that you aim for might just be your own reflection.
Oh, hey, thank you.
Are you going to read another?
I don't know. Am I allowed to go on, or is that all? Is that
One
enough?
short one if you like.
Well, okay. This one's called What is Peace? Just now awakened from the dream of silence, hand in the air, reaching out for something, anything to prove that the dream continues. We rise from the dead to be lost in space. My question, unanswered, flies above the sun, the moon below, a whispering ghost. Glowing in my arms, a baby cries, a painful truth that carries a question. A pearl lies naked on the ocean floor, a lost jewel of a love forgotten and cold. Hear the siren, a warning, a broken meditation from deep in a soul abandoned and sold. We explode into fragments, release the names of the victims from the borderland inhabited by those who have fled. We view from a distance the thought we create. Something other now claims the space within us. We are not here, wherever this may be. The misery and violence is a veil of smoke. The war of the heart, an eternal affliction. With our deadly desires, we make it so.
Thank you. Very good.
Just
Okay.
want to say one more thing that it is an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to be here with all of you and to see all of you again, especially some of the ones that we've met in person. It's just a thrill. It's like I want to reach out here and hug you.
You all get prettier every time we see you. I don't understand.
And
They must have a pretty
I
pill
think
out there.
This past year, we've traveled a lot, and everywhere we go, we do music and poetry, but we also spread the word about the Beat Poetry Foundation and all of our brothers and sisters who are working in this field. So I think in the year coming up, we're going to be reaching out and participating and supporting that even more so, and doing some work of our own. And we forgot to mention that we're coming out of Detroit area, Michigan. So I think that's about it to answer your question.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you all. Bless your heart.
All righty. Cheryl Howard.
Yeah, I'm unmuting. Can you hear me?
Yes.
The poem I have in this lovely book is called Quan Shu Dead. And as a little preface, there's a cemetery in El Paso just below a freeway. And it's a very segregated cemetery. So there are parts of the cemetery for priests and nuns. There are parts for Mormons. There are parts for Painters Union. There are parts for people who are in the military. And there's a gated part for the Chinese. And the Chinese, there was a contingent, if you don't know, of Chinese along the border after the railroad was built. And then in the 1880s, there were the Chinese Exclusion Acts. And the Chinese along the border were persecuted on both sides. So if they were found by the Americans, they were deported. And if they were found by the Mexicans, Pancho Villa apparently really didn't like the Chinese and they were killed. And so there was a lot of back and forth through tunnels and safe houses where these people were moving back and forth for safety. So this is about a person that is in the Chinese cemetery there. It's called Concordia Cemetery. Quan Shu Dead. Today we found the turtle house with its symbol newly painted on the short alley. And I am thinking Chinese on this border between English and Spanish, through tunnels to safety, built from the same stuff they used to build the railroads, to connect us, but not them. Some ancestors lie in Concordia Cemetery, separated from gunfighters, veterans, Jews, priests, Shriners, Painters Union, unbaptized babies, and the homeless stuffed blankets in the chinks of a crumbling shrine. There are old names in the phone book, children's children, who found turtle houses and mates, sleep safely on both sides of the border, can read the glyphs of their ancestors, speak in 3 tongues, and still bring flowers.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I forgot to mention that in Sunset Heights, which is close to the university, there is one of these safe houses, and it has the shape of a turtle on the alley side. It's a short street called Corto, and it's in brick shaped formation of a turtle. And that supposedly was one of these safe houses, and the university is very, very close to the US-Mexico border.
I was in that house. I had a friend who had an upstairs apartment, and I learned the very same thing. Yeah. Would you like to read one other short poem?
I would. This one is an ekphrastic poem. It was inspired by this pot, which is a pot that was found in Arizona and from the hohokam. It's called hohokam flying bird.
You might want to slide the work down because it's covering your face.
Oh, sorry. I gotta get to where I can see it.
Okay.
Before border walls, before La Migra, before countries, flying bird was caged by clay, encased in black diamonds, hemmed in by lines of lines, straight and wavy, before countries, before border walls, before La Migra, the pot shattered, birds freed to fly where they willed. Now that there are countries, now that there are border walls, now that La Migra patrols the line, someone found the shards, glued the pot together, and caged the birds again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What I'm working on now is to collect all my border poems and to put them all together. And the other thing that I'm really doing a lot of is working with a gel plate and doing monoprints. So that's been a lot of fun.
Thank you. And that's something I want to try sometime, the gel prints. Yeah.
You will really love it. It's just fabulous.
Okay. Thanks for joining us.
We
Sorry.
have to leave now as it's getting really late here in Italy.
Okay.
So we just wanted to thank you again. And it was such an honor to be here to listen to every one of you. And Barbara, thanks you again for this beautiful book right here, which is really great. I just can't see to bring it to Bologna, to my university. So thank you very much, Barbara.
Thank you.
Will be learning English soon, so she can talk by herself. Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, Karen Warinsky.
Okay. So excuse me, I'm from Connecticut, and thanks, Belinda, for including my piece in the book. Warfare has been on my mind quite a bit, and I wrote this piece because though I try to have hope, I have a sense that we are entering some dangerous days, and this is called Precipice. Interstate conflict, territorial disputes, transnational terrorism, full-blown war. Governments eat at this smorgasbord of political unrest, but never to fullness. But is this a poem? Yemen, Syria, Afghanistan, power, control, domination of souls. Does nothing ever stop the striving to be on top of another? Sudan, Libya. But is this poetic enough? Decisions, beliefs, ideologies pile upon humanity, seek allegiance, while people just want to eat, work, sleep warm and safe, find some form of happiness, joy, too large a concept, too fleeting and foggy in this shadow world. Well, it's nothing like Tennyson, nothing like Malay, Ethiopia, Iraq, Myanmar. Today, another oppressed citizen throws things into a bag, pulls on a warm coat, a hat, boots, grabs a child, pet, and heads out into the newest line of refugees, chased by history, tradition, manipulation, the wretched legacy of war. Oh, Ukraine, I cannot write you a poem.
Thank you very much.
It shakes me up when I read it.
Yeah. Feel free to read another one.
Since that happened, then now we've had this mess in Gaza in the Middle East. And I did write about that pretty much exclusively for the last 2 months. And this one was published in the Worcester Magazine, which is the magazine in the big town near where I live, Worcester, Mass. And this is called No Quarter. The voices in the streets cry out for peace, bodies on the line, air filled with prayer, different faith calling together, eyes that still see, staring down destruction of both sides, screaming for it to cease. Death is one tough movement, a linear ride that doesn't care about your politics, your customs, your country, only waits for the false move, the thing you'll die for, kill for, watches the toothless and blind run toward the cliff, guns pointed, bombs released, their books of convictions in the rubble of what once were their homes. Still, we cry for peace. We must do more than cry.
Thank you so much. And I know you have a lot of projects going on. Would you like to tell us about a couple?
I do. One thing that after, so anyways, I wrote about a lot of warfare stuff in my book that came out last year. It's called Dining with War. And it's also personal things that happened in life over mealtime that weren't always happy. But so now I've decided I'm going to write about music and I'm having fun to go back in time and think about all the good times I had going to concerts or where music was involved in my life and the happiness that that created. So I'm enjoying that. And then I run a group called Poets at Large, and we have our season posted. We have a group page on Facebook if you guys are in the area. It's in Connecticut this year, and I have about 7 events coming up for 2024. And it's great to, you know, provide open mic for people and have a great lineup of poets. So that's Poets at Large, and that's what's keeping me busy. So.
All righty.
And it was great to be here.
Yes. Chris, I have a question. You said you heard from Lily Swarn. Is she going to be able to make it to the Zoom?
Yeah, she had said, is the meeting still going on? And I said, absolutely. And so she said she was going to try to dial in, but she's from India, isn't she?
I know, and it's super late there. You know what?
But
if she doesn't make it, we can talk amongst ourselves for just a couple of minutes or something. But if she doesn't make it, I think I'm going to ask for an interview with her separately and post that. And it'll have to be like 10 in the morning or something to get her a reasonable hour. I don't know. It might have to be 7 in the morning. It's 12 and a half hours later there. It's really tough. So I want you all to know that it's an honor to be in the Zoom room with you all. I respect all of you very much and enjoy your work. And we're kind of in
what to say, what we could say then. You are an exceptional artist. I'm a great admirer of you.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, really. Your paintings, your poems, your music. Really.
Thank you so much.
I was so enthusiastic, overwhelmed when Debbie last year told me you'll be among the laureates. I think you are worth much more.
Oh, thank you very
Sorry,
much.
I'm a bit I'm not well today. For some time, for some months, before some months, I'm not so well, so I cannot speak very fluently. But I really admire you.
Thank you so much.
And your book.
I didn't put much value somehow into getting, some people just have books out every month or something. I hadn't, and I was kind of even turned off by that for a long time, but I've gotten over it. I have a book coming out soon called Full Moon Midnight from Roadside Press, who's published a lot of good books, and I'm not sure exactly. We're getting in the blurbs and stuff. Is anybody here want to write a blurb for it? I can send you the manuscript. But so that's my news. And then of course I continue with all the projects that you know what I do. I'm afraid Lily's not going to make it, but I do not want to leave and then she tries to get on and we're not there. But does anyone else have something they'd like to say? You can talk.
Congratulations, Belinda, on your new book, Roadside Press. Michelle McDonald does excellent work. with Roadside Press. And so that's a big deal. And I look forward to reading your book.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say I'm really glad that we're all on keep in contact on Facebook or just seeing what everyone's doing. I have to take a nap after seeing Joe and Sheila, but usually it's like, holy mackerel, I'm slacking. I gotta get going. They wouldn't tell me their secrets when they were here about how they book every night and every day in 5 places. I'm trying to figure out who their agent is. But otherwise, it's very inspiring, and I just want to end space. And Ron, everybody's just out there doing stuff, which is for me helps keep looking to go. Yes, we need to keep doing stuff, and so thanks for everybody being who they are.
Thank you.
I want to congratulate Debbie on her great
Recognition. Yeah.
event. Yeah, and I saw Mike over there too. Where'd he go?
Oh, he just went out to. He just went outside to cover the cars because we're expecting a big snowstorm tonight.
Do any of you poets and Joe and Sheila, do you ever make it to Southwest, anywhere like El Paso or somewhere in New Mexico?
We've been to Austin. We've played in Austin, and we just came out of Houston just a couple days ago. We were in Houston, last week? I can't remember nothing, so I don't know.
We took a couple days to drive down, and we stopped in Jackson, Tennessee overnight.
We played in Nashville.
Yeah, we played in Nashville, and then we went on to do you know where Humble, Texas is? It's northwest.
It's a suburb of Houston.
So we were thinking about you, and then I looked at the map, and I'm like, whoa, that's.
Oh, I know, because I can drive all the way through New Mexico.
It's 800 miles.
It's farther from Houston to your house than it is from here to Houston.
Right, I can get to California.
Say hi, but then we looked at the map and I don't think so.
Yeah, I know it's hard for people to realize, and we're in our own time zone here. The rest of the huge Texas is in Central, and we're in Mountain Time. Even the rest of Texas doesn't even realize that. I can drive to California before I could get to Houston. That's how ridiculous it is. I could drive through New Mexico to Colorado before I could get to Houston. It's crazy.
I have to get you folks up to Massachusetts. I'm hoping to have a festival sometime in April myself. So
let us know, and we'll, if it's possible, we're seriously looking into going out to Ireland with Ronnie.
Dublin.
I hope that we can pull that off.
If any of you have some personal travel experience for that whole area, because what I'm trying to do is put together a tour. Scotland, Ireland, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, all of that, and somehow time it so that we end up in Dublin.
Wanted to say
it's really tough. So if anybody has any personal knowledge, please send me a message on it. And so help me put this together. I don't know the logistics of the area, and all the stuff you read on the internet is you get there and it's not
what it is. Yeah.
I think it's time for us to rent a bus and do a tour together. We should all go there.
Man, that would be awesome.
And Paul, we follow you online all the time. I love your work.
Well, keep me in that loop.
I wanted to see you.
It was so good to see Chris in St. Augustine this year, and Ron and Debbie and Chryssa. We missed you. We missed you this year. We'll see you maybe.
Just wrapping up.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think Lily's going to make it, but like I say, I'll try to do something with her separately and give her a fair shot at being seen and heard here. But it won't be part of this. It'll be a standalone, I think, so I can give her more time.
Yeah, I just heard back from her, and she said it was 2:30 in the morning. But then when I told her what your plan was, and she was happy to hear that. So she'll just look forward to the link when you send it to her, and she'll do a separate recording.
Okay. All right. All righty. I think we've expressed our love and admiration, and I feel wonderful having y'all here in my room. This is my bedroom.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Great to see you guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Love you all. Love you all.
Peace. Bye.
Hey, Joe and Sheila. I just want to tell you, contact Chris Vanoy, because he's been to that area quite extensively.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
To
you.
ask about Ireland specifically.
Yeah, great. Great. Thank you so much for that. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Okay, how you doing?
I'm all right. I'm reading your book. I'm reading the book now.
Oh, yeah?
I finally got around to it. Yeah.
Debbie, I
That's-
still want that. With No Limits.
I love it.
I want to order that. I'll be in touch. Okay.
Hello, Mike.
Hello. How you doing?
You read with us next time, Mike. All
Well, yeah, whenever that is.
right. Oh, I'll have a general meeting coming up.
I have some surgery coming up.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I mean, good.
Cataract
Best of
surgery.
luck with that.
Nothing to be concerned about. Cataract surgery.
That's a
Oh.
lot scarier sounding than it really is. We've both
Yeah.
had it already, and
Oh, I'm heading that way, but not quite there yet.
Yeah.
It's not quite right.
So the glasses are going
Well-
bye-bye in a couple of months.
uh-oh.
When my dad got cataract surgery, he said he could suddenly see everyone's wrinkles on their faces.
Well,
So that's what you have to look forward to.
Can they
it's
cure,
better than looking through a haze, I'll tell you that.
I'll
can they
say,
cure
yeah.
your reading?
And that's kind of what I have now is I'm looking through a haze and everything's fuzzy. And I'm not high. So it's not a pleasant experience.
Mm-mm.
Don't be scared. He was terrified. It's not that big a deal.
I'll tell you what, speaking of being high, it's the most psychedelic experience you'll ever have.
Oh, I've had a few.
Color.
I've had a few.
When they open up your eye, it's nothing but kaleidoscope. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
really wild.
Well, I was told it only lasts like 20 minutes, so that's good because
It is
my
not.
eyes are one area of my body I don't want anyone touching. You know what I mean?
Or
There are,
cutting.
there's another area that's off limits too. For surgical procedure, but the eyes.
They probably already cut that.
Yeah.
Never mind. That's too much.
I know what you mean.
All righty. Bye-bye. I'm going to end the meeting.
Belinda's getting rid of us now. Bye, Belinda.
I know she's gonna cut you off.
It's going down. It's going down. It's spiraling right down the tube.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
So, Billy Swarn is joining us from far away. And what part of India are you coming from?
Hi, Belinda. Thank you for having me, and speak about myself. So I am in the north of India. It's a place called Chandigarh, and it's the capital of 3 states, actually, the Punjab, Haryana, and Chandigarh Union Territory. And it's pretty cold. It's almost like I would be anywhere chilly in America. So my daughter lives in Michigan, so I know it can be bad. Yeah.
So what projects have you been involved with lately?
I have written a lot in English, 4 books of poetry, out of which one has got a state award from Chandigarh. It's the Sahitya Academy, and that one was called Rippling Moonbeams. The others were A Trellis of Ecstasy and A Passionate Affair with Trees. And the latest is The Divine Dialect of Flowers, which is getting a lot of love. And actually, the lifetime beat poet Ron Whitehead has written, about it, and so has Deborah. And this is the book, and I'm very, very proud of it. It's
very nice.
Thank you very much. And these days, I've also written a novel about my life as an army wife, and it's loosely based on my life, though it's fictionalized, called The Gypsy Trail. And the Best Book Author Award I got for my book called History on My Plate, which is actually about 45 food items and their origin and history. I did a lot of research for that, but good fun, because eating and trying out recipes and all of that is fun. So that was, thank you. Yeah. So also, the book of ghazals is in Urdu. Urdu is not really my mother tongue. My mother tongue is Punjabi because I'm from Punjab. But Urdu is the language my dad taught me. He lived in undivided India when he grew up. So that was Pakistan now, that part of India. Okay. So when he came across the border after partition, he taught me a lot of Urdu poetry by rote, and I kind of got involved. So that is a book I'm proud of. It's my book of Urdu ghazals. And now I am trying to work on my Punjabi poetry, trying to collect it. I'm a little hesitant because, I don't speak the rural Punjabi. When I grew up, I was hearing the sounds from my ancestors who came from across the border, which is sweeter. It's a different cadence, it's a different lilt, it's also a different dialect. And where I grew up in Chandigarh, it's a different Eastern Punjab, and the language is a little more, what can you say, different from what it is across the border. So I'm a little hesitant how my voice, my poetic voice is going to sound. It's more like something from the towns and cities of Punjab, and not really rustic. So be it. I'm going to work on it. Yes. Thank you.
Could you read your poem that's in Border Beats and share another one with us, if you will?
I would love to. I would love to. And thank you for having me, part of that anthology. It's such an honor. Let me read it for you. And it's called Borders Are Boundless. And it talks about, the same divide of partition which we were referring to. In his late 80s, frail with a determined chin, eyes searching the horizons for his lost motherland. How could a line drawn on a map decide that his home was in another country now? A teardrop slid down his gaunt cheeks. Streams, fields, wells, trees, brick houses, streets raced through his brain in recurring flashbacks. His village, lost to a newly coined nation. His best friend and the marbles he had hidden, gone forever. Partitions are not just barbed wires and walls, or flags fluttering over imposing structures. Borders split hearts into precious shards, snatching identities and a sense of belonging. My father, his home now in what is Pakistan, bemoaning the loss of his roots. Sitting in Chandigarh, a modern city of India. Punjab, the state, cleaved into two in 1947 amidst colossal loss of life. Borders are on land, hearts have none. Bhangra, roti, salwar kameez, Punjabi, you can't partition a joint cultural heritage. We dance and curse alike. We laugh at similar things. Our proverbs talk of Lahore. We quote Bulle Shah and Rumi. The Berlin Wall could be broken. Why can't our fragments be rejoined? Thank you.
Yes, very nice. Would you like to read one more, please?
There's one which I just like, if you would allow me to read it. I just find it something close to me, and it's just heartfelt. It's called Your Hug. Let me see if I have it here. Your Hug. I can read it from here, maybe. I need my glasses, which is very nice. Here goes. Your hug. It's not often that I need your hug. Not a hurried arm around me like a cursory glance by a stranger. more like a lemon souffle with a tangy aftertaste, a freshening of my sagging spirits with a burst of citric flavor, tangy. Or like the snug Jaipuri razai, the quilt that my aunt got last winter, pure cotton with a reassuring rustic feel of unadulterated love. A hug that eases the fine lines around my mouth with an anti-aging potion of honey and brings a soothing morning breeze from the upper Himalayas in its embrace. I need that hug which cocoons and protects, shields and enfolds like a sheath of fluid moonbeams riding on navy blue skies. Arms of pliable dough soaked in saffron strands, hands that tell the beads of a rosary with each fading breath. It's not often that I need your hug, the one that Krishna may have given Sudama, perhaps. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And
Thank
it's
you.
such an honor to have you here and to wait so long for us.
I love being awake in the middle of the night to a quiet house and just talk with you across the oceans. Thank you for having me.
So, thank you very much. So honored to have you. All righty.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Lots of love. Bye-bye. Good.
Bye.
See you. Okay.
Welcome, Bengt O Björklund. Would you like to read your, first tell me about a project or your latest book or something you'd like to share with us?
Well, my latest book is in Swedish. It's a haiku collection. This came out last spring. I'm working on a new collection for the National Beat Poetry Foundation, which is going to come out, I hope, this spring or summer.
I will be getting that. These sound like they're going to be very interesting with some bio and story of your life. Yeah. Okay. Would you like to read your poem from Border Beats Anthology? And also
yes,
another.
I'd be pleased to. So this one is called They Crossed the Border. They crossed the border because they were told to. Infantry, tanks, and big guns, not blazing, but determined, doing the soldier thing, because it was better than being in jail, thieves, murderers, and rapists, paying for their crimes with their lives on the line, fighting a war based on a lie, didn't bother the men, their hearts being somewhere else, dreaming of new crimes, of different kinds of horrors. In the first village, they shot a few young men just because they could. One young girl was raped by many men before she too was shot. They set fire to most of the houses before setting off again. There was a young man who had protested against hardship in the wind, against his big lies and his harsh censorship. He got 10 years. Now he watched among men he detested. In the next village, the young man stayed behind, pretending to relieve himself behind one of those houses. That's when he saw her, more beautiful than anything. They looked at each other. He was Russian, she Ukrainian.
All right, thank you.
Then I was going to read one more. There's no title to this one. It goes like this. There are thin men brittle to the wind, silently hoisting paper flags that will burn their broken skulls, our sins long empty, turning in a rotten whirlpool of Sunday Mass. Hear the sound of old women mumbling, their knees on long driftwood stools, rattling the dead bone dry prayer beads to the demolition drums of war. The tide will turn and birds will pray in silence and grave apprehension. A murky shadow blasphemy, ignition will set the whole world on fire.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad you could be part of the reading.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you gave me the chance. Thank you.
All righty. Good evening. Bye-bye.
See you.